This is your ThinkTech news for Friday, March 13th, 2015. I'm Will Kahele, sitting in for Donna Blanchard. An American healthcare worker who tested positive for the Ebola virus while working in Sierra Leone is seriously ill, U.S. health officials announced today. The patient arrived in the U.S. this morning and was admitted to the U.S. National Institute of Health's high-security containment facility in Maryland. Only last week, there was a celebration in the capital of Liberia to celebrate the fact that there were no more known cases of Ebola in West Africa. Reuters reported on Wednesday that the United States had asked Vietnam to stop letting Russia use Vietnam's Cam Ranh Bay for tanker aircraft that have refueled nuclear-capable bombers engaged in shows of strength over the Asia-Pacific region. Today, Russia rejected U.S. concerns about its use of the former American base in Vietnam for the refueling of Russian bomber flights around U.S. territory in the Pacific, dismissing recent U.S. statements as puzzling and strange. It is strange to hear such statements from representatives of the state whose armed forces are permanently stationed in a number of Asia-Pacific countries and which continue to increase its level of military activity in the region, Russia's defense ministry said. The ministry added that U.S. statements that the refueling of Russian bombers from Vietnam could lead to increased regional tensions was puzzling, and that Russian Air Force activities and cooperation with Vietnam were carried out in strict accordance with international norms, and bilateral agreements are not directed against anyone whatsoever and shall not be a threat to peace and stability in the Asia-Pacific region. The U.S. State Department said today that it was working with Congress to provide about $70 million in new non-lethal assistance to the Syrian opposition, bringing the total U.S. support to nearly $400 million. The State Department said in a statement that funds would go toward basic community services, supporting vetted units of the armed opposition, digital security, training, and documentation of war crimes and other violations by the Syrian regime. The Red Cross has only sporadic access to areas of Iraq and Syria held by Islamic State, despite huge needs of 10 million people living under their control, the president of the International Committee of the Red Cross, Peter Maurer, said in an interview on Friday. As we enter the start of the 5th year of war in Syria, Mr. Maurer also voiced hope that a ceasefire can be clinched in Aleppo to allow more aid to be distributed in the shattered country's second largest city. Oil prices might have stabilized only temporarily because the global oil glut is worsening and U.S. production shows no sign of slowing, the international agency said today. The West Energy Watchdog said the United States may soon run out of spare capacity to store crude, which would put additional downward pressure on prices. That process would last at least until the second half of 2015, when growth in U.S. oil production is expected to start slowing. I'm Will Kahele, and this has been your ThinkTech News for Friday, March 13th, 2015. On behalf of all of us here at ThinkTech, have a great Aloha Friday and a wonderful weekend. Aloha.